We are interrupting regular programming right now to follow breaking news out of Burnsville, where 2 officers and a firefighter were shot and killed this morning, and another officer was injured while responding to a domestic call. We are waiting for a news conference that is set to start any moment now with updates on exactly what unfolded this morning in Burnsville. But here's what we know so far. The Burnsville's officers have been identified as Paul Elmstrand and Matthew Ruge. The firefighter paramedic was Adam Finseth. One other officer, Sergeant Adam Meldicott, was injured and transported to a hospital where he has non-life-threatening injuries. Both the Elmstrand, who is 27 years old, joined the Burnsville Police Department in August of 2017 as a community service officer. And we do know that 2 of the men were 27. The paramedic was only 40 years old. We're going to have much more detail on who these officers and the paramedic were. And of course, we're hoping to gain more information about exactly what unfolded earlier this morning. But we do know that officers received a call about domestic violence at a house in Burnsville that ended up also involving several other agencies, including SWAT. They were called to this house, and we know that 2 officers were shot and killed, and the EMS paramedic was also killed at that home. We don't have any details right now on what led up to that. We do know that the person who's believed to be the shooter is dead, and that officers say there is no more threat to the neighborhood. Obviously, that was an active situation for a long time today, with that house being barricaded for several hours this morning. We do know that there were children in the home, and are told that no one else in that home, other than the person who's believed to be the shooter, was injured physically this morning. But obviously a tragic day for law enforcement and first responders across the state. We did bring you live at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. There was a massive procession escorting those officers' bodies from HCMC to the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's office. We're going to hear more now on what transpired this morning at a press conference happening right now in Burnsville City Hall.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Greg Lindberg. I'm the city manager here in Burnsville, and it's been a difficult and emotional day here for our community and our team. I thank you all for being with us today as we share some important information on a critical incident that occurred in our community this morning. Today, we'll have several updates for you. First, Drew Evans from the BCA will provide an update on the critical incident that occurred. And then both our police chief and our fire chief will make comments about this difficult day in our team, in our family here in Burnsville. Words can't express how hard today has been. We know that people want and need information, and that's our role in providing good government and good service to the community. And we want to also make sure that we take good care of our team, the people who serve this community day in and day out, and their families. So thank you for giving us the grace and the patience and the understanding to inform their loved ones, to take care of our team, and to even process this ourselves. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Evans with the BCA.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Drew Evans. I'm the superintendent at the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and we've been asked to investigate this matter, and I'll provide a quick update. First, thank you on behalf of the team here for all the law enforcement support, the governor's support, the commissioner of public safety support, for everybody that's having just an incredibly difficult day. This is really a terrible day for the city of Burnsville, all of the residents, the law enforcement, and fire communities that are mourning the loss of these public servants that occurred early today. At approximately 1:50 a.m. on February 18th, Burnsville police were called to a residence in the 12,600 block of 33rd Avenue South on a report of a domestic situation, where a man was reported to be armed and barricaded with family members in the home. We later learned that there were 7 young children in the home, ranging from ages 2 to 15 at the time of this event occurred. When officers got to the scene, the individual was barricaded, and they spent quite a bit of time negotiating with this individual who was barricaded in the home, and additional officers responded at that time. At one point during that barricaded situation, the subject opened fire on the officers in the home, and officers Elmstrand, Ruge, and Finseth for the fire department, Mr. Finseth, were killed by the gunman during the response. One other officer, Sergeant Adam Medlicott, was injured and was shot as well, where he's suffered non-life-threatening injuries, but is in the process of being treated. At approximately 8 a.m., the subject was reported to be deceased in the home, and later that morning, those other children and family members were able to escape from the home. Residents are asked to allow our teams to stay away from the area and allow our teams to complete the crime scene investigation that needs to occur in that location still at this time. I'm going to go through quickly just a little bit of background on the officers before I turn it over to Police Chief Schwartz. And about who they are. Paul Elmstrand is 27 and joined the Burnsville Police Department in August of 2017, first as a community service officer, and he was later promoted to officer in July of 2019. He was part of the department's mobile command staff, peer team, honor guard, and field training unit. Officer Matthew Ruge, age 27, joined the Burnsville Police Department in April of 2020. He was part of the department's crisis negotiations team, and was a physical evidence officer. And then firefighter Adam Finseth, age 40, has been a Burnsville firefighter paramedic since 2019. As he noted, we're in the very beginning stages of this investigation. I know everybody wants to know exactly what occurred and really what led up to these really terrible event that occurred today. I'd ask that you have patience as we work through that. We'll piece together everything that we can to provide the answers in due time. At this time, we're providing these basic updates so that we can show you just a little bit of what occurred. We'll answer a few questions at the conclusion of this, but our crime scene will be active and ongoing in that process. I will note just a few things in this in terms of the questions. We still don't know the exact exchange of gunfire that occurred. Certainly, several officers did return fire. I will note that this individual had several guns and large amounts of ammunition and shot at the police officers from multiple positions within the home in that incident. And the exact timing and cadence of what occurred will be part of our active investigation as we review video, officers' body cams, video that might be in the area, conduct interviews, and all available evidence to really figure out exactly what occurred in this incident. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Police Chief Tanya Schwartz.
Thank you for being here. This is a hard day. It's a really hard day for our public safety family. We're hurting. Okay, we're hurting. Today, 3 members of our team, made the ultimate sacrifice for this community. They are heroes. Our police officers and our fire paramedics, they come to work every day. They do it willingly. They know that they might have to give up their life for their partners, for someone else. They know they have to give up their life sometime, and they do it anyways. And you cannot understand it if you're not in the profession. Every day we want them to go home to their families. Every day we pray that they go home to their families. And today that's not happening. We are all hurting. Our officers, our fire department, our families, all of our staff, our community. We're heartbroken. We are heartbroken. We are going to need time to be together, please. Our families need time to grieve. They need time to be together. We need you to pray for them. That's what we need right now. Superintendent Evans shared a little bit about each of the officers. I will just share that Officer Paul Elmstrand was with the department for 6 years and 6 months. Officer Matthew Ruge with the police department for 3 years and 10 months. Sergeant Adam Finseth, who's expected to survive, with the department for 9 years and 5 months. We talk about it often here in Burnsville. We're a family. We take care of each other. And days like today is so important. So I'm going to turn it over to my brother at the fire department, Chief Jungman, and he is going to speak about the fire department family.
Good afternoon. I am BJ Jungman. I'm the fire chief for the city of Burnsville. This is the toughest day that the city of Burnsville and our public safety family has ever experienced. My hearts and prayers go out to the families who lost a loved one in the line of duty today. Our folks come to work every day and are willing to give up the ultimate sacrifice of their life, but no one expects it to happen. It's a tragic day. We're all grieving, and we're all trying to understand what happened and why. I would like to share a little bit of information about the firefighter paramedic we lost in the line of duty today. Firefighter paramedic Adam Finseth, badge 83, was one of our SWAT paramedics and has been in the fire department for 5 years. He also served the city of Savage and the city of Hastings prior to coming to work at the city of Burnsville. No matter how much we try to understand that, there are no words to describe these public safety officer families, what they're going through right now. Our Burnsville community, including our city staff and police and fire families, are grieving. We ask the media to respect the families and their privacy as they are processing this information. We thank our mutual aid partners who responded to the incident and are helping us during this difficult time. We've had an outpouring of support through our community, which we greatly appreciate. And at this time, we'd ask our community to support each other and help each other grieve. We'd ask them to respect the families that lost someone today. We ask everybody to show grace and understanding for our community members and our city staff who are impacted by this. We're going to provide more information moving forward and how you can support these families financially in the coming days. I would ask you to go to burnsvillemn.gov/community updates, and we will keep you informed there. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to our city manager to close, Greg Lindberg.
Chiefs, thank you. Chief Schwartz said it best just now. We're hurting as a team and as a family particularly for those individuals who have chosen our police and our fire departments as a career to serve this community and to live out day to day what is one of the most important things here in Burnsville, and that's keeping our community safe. We're going to support each other. We're going to care for one another as a team, because we talk a lot about in this organization and as a family that if we take care of each other, that's when we can best care for our community. And we're going to do that, and it's going to be hard. We'll support our staff the best that we can in the coming days. We also will make sure that you have all of the information that you need to help us do the same. I'd ask that you use the website burnsvillemn.gov/community updates, where we'll be posting all of the information that we share with the community and beyond as we work together to continue to support each other, to care for the community. And speaking of caring for the community, I'd invite all of our community and beyond to attend an informal vigil tonight outside of City Hall, where we'll join together and start the process of grieving and caring for each other in our support to strengthen our community and to make sure that our team, our staff, the people who call Burnsville home and beyond know that together we will create a safe community and one where we can all work together in caring for each other. And finally, the chiefs and I are going to return to the business of taking care of our family and taking care of our community. We really thank you for the time that you spent here today and appreciate your willingness to join us. So thank you very much.
We've just been listening in on a very
We
emotional
could do just a couple questions. It's
press
early in the
conference. Oh,
investigation
we
as a
might be
few,
getting
but
some
we'll try
questions
to
and
answer if we
answers
can keep them to the investigation as we let them go back and continue.
Yes, just for clarity, first of all three that were killed inside the home?
No, it's a good question. We're still piecing that together right now. I can tell you at least one of the officers was shot inside of the home. The other two that were deceased, we're still piecing together if it was inside or outside of the home. But I can tell you that officer that took fire inside of the home and once they were outside of the home.
Was the paramedic attending to an officer when he was struck?
So the paramedic was part of the team. The SWAT team was called to this incident, and they were in the process of helping resolve that. And as part of that, they have paramedics that are assigned to that team, and they were assisting with the officer, the first one that was injured.
Thanks for your update. Adrian Brown from NBC News, 8-year Minnesota resident. Have you all been called to that home before?
So we're still working through all of that. The home, there was, at this particular residence with this individual, there had not been many calls for service at all.
The domestic situation that brought officers there, can you elaborate on that at all?
And at this time, it's part of the active investigation. We can't provide any more information than what we've had. So the suspect is deceased, as we noted in this particular instance, and he is, as a part of that, the medical examiner will do the official identification. We believe we know who the individual is, but the official identification needs to come from the medical examiner's office. We're working through that right now. The medical examiner will provide that. That autopsy will occur tomorrow.
There was an armored vehicle on scene that had a lot of bullet holes. Are you able to say did that protect other officers inside?
So that vehicle that you saw was used as part of the SWAT team that was on scene shortly after the gunfire erupted and was used as part of that process, which is where it was shot.
Are there any requests for extreme risk protection orders against the suspect?
We're still part of the active investigation at this time.
There were kids in the home at the time?
Yeah.
Witnessed this incident. What would you say about that?
Well, certainly, 7 children inside of the home from, ages 15 to 2. It's a very troubling situation for everybody involved in this particular incident, and we're glad they aren't hurt as part of this.
Who was able to call for help?
So a resident that was inside of the residence made the initial call.
What can you tell us about the gun? It's got a high-profile.
So we'll be able to provide more information about that later on. I will say there were multiple firearms recovered from inside of the residence.
Superintendent, you said you were going to take a few more questions. Are
Yep.
you about done?
I maybe take one more.
I'm understanding that he shot out the second-story window. Is that true?
Yes, so there was shooting that came from the upper portion of the residence and on the main floor of the residence as well. So thank you for your time. We'll provide more information as
Just
we
listening
can
in
from
on
there.
Drew Evans, who's the superintendent of the BCA, updating us on their investigation today. And prior to that, an incredibly emotional press conference. As you can imagine, the city of Burnsville grieving tonight. We are going to take you back to regular programming, but we will be back at the top of the hour with team coverage on a tragic day in Burnsville.
But that's just not today and tomorrow. It's for years to come. And I think for Minnesotans to recognize families that are shattered by something like this forever, that'll ever change it. A huge thank you to the city of Burnsville. I've been on the phone a couple of times today with Mayor Couts. She too is heartbroken. There's no one more proud of this great city than her, and advocating for it, and to have this happen is tragic. And to the folks who stand up here, Burnsville Fire, Burnsville Police, but all of our partners in the area, this is a very small fraternity when it gets down to it, and everybody knows everybody. And I think you heard that the ages of these officers and this paramedic firefighter, young folks, and this will start to ripple across the state. And I would just ask again, echo the chief's response, keep these families in your prayers, let this investigation play itself out. And I would just say, if I could, ask Minnesotans, this week you'll see the flags flying at half-staff. That's a sign of respect and mourning, but it's a time to give each of us, as you drive by one of those flags, to maybe pause and think about these first responders, these public safety officials. They're moms and dads, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters. They're the world to a lot of people, and they go out and do the job to provide us safety that we have the luxury of not having to think about many times. And then this can happen. And I think it's really just important in this time to focus on that, to focus where they're at, and to think about this, and to recognize this is not going to go away in the next few weeks. It's not going to go away when investigation's done. These families are forever impacted. And we still have Minnesotans willing to take an oath, sign up, do the work, and know this can happen. And that speaks volumes about this community, speaks volumes about Minnesotans. So thank you all for taking the time to cover it.
Governor, in the last year or so, it seems like there's been, a number of police officers shot in the line of duty. Does it feel like you're going to more of these events and having to deal with this more often?
Yeah, and one is too many, and yes, and I hesitate to say this is the darkest day in middle law enforcement history, because every time we lose an officer, and we saw multiple shooting, been up in Fargo, and we know we had a tragic situation, and yes, this is heartbreaking, and I said I'm still trying to comprehend the loss of 3 in this, and a firefighter is just really difficult. And this is hard work. This is really hard work. And I think for Minnesotans to understand what these folks do every single day, that's why it's really important we make sure we put them in the best position possible to do their jobs.
Governor Walz, we know we have a shortage of officers at varying departments across the state. To those who wear the badge or are even considering and seeing this and say, I don't know if I can do that, what do you say to them?
Yeah, I don't know if I have an answer to that. I think there's, when it comes to public service and public safety, it's in the hearts and it's in the souls of the folks who do it. But we have a responsibility to make sure we're doing everything possible to equip them, train them, and support them in that work. But they'll continue to do it, and I think it's just that sense of gratitude. And you're going to feel it over this week in a big way. Minnesota's going to mourn, and they're going to mourn very publicly. I think that's the time where folks who are thinking about being in this recognize how important we know these people are. This is noble work, and so I'm concerned, because when we have a shortage, it makes it more difficult for those who are in to do their job. And so anything we can do to get them in, I hope they continue to know the state of Minnesota, and certainly our communities are there to support them. But thank you.